All right, so we are officially less than a month away from the marathon. Disclaimers for this video: I will very likely be swearing, and I will very likely cry because today was insane. So before we go into today, a little breakdown of like the logistical parts of this last week. I did a tower class with Stephanie West, which was amazing, the day after my 15-mile run. So good. Oh my God. Like, clearly need to add that in to the day afters or like 2 days later, whichever one. Because it just like she worked everything that I wasn't working when I was running and like didn't make me use the things that I overuse when I run, right? So like it was a lot of back body, a lot of hamstrings, a lot of chest opening, a lot of hip stuff. Oh my God, it was amazing. I also got really intense into my MELT certification. So I'm in level 1 MELT certifying teacher training mode. And with this, I was doing the hand and foot module with this large softball. And doing treatments to myself basically every day for at least the last like 3 or 4 days. And I did one today as well. Amazing, totally changed the game. I usually feel my knees like pretty early on, and by using it, and I used this today before I went out just because I was like, oh, I need to do that before I go, just because like training and blah, 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 and not actually like putting together that like, oh snap, like this actually might be really good for my legs. Oh my God, so dumb. So I didn't actually start to feel my knees until mile 10, which was incredible. And like, don't get me wrong, my knees are still like super sore right now, but they're not nearly as bad as like they've been before. Like I could actually climb up the stairs today, which was incredible. I also did a dining room chair Pilates session, which was super interesting. And again, like it used like all those muscles. Like it was basically making a dining room chair tower with like using a dining room chair and a TheraBand. So good. Very fun. Got to use my core. So I got in my 2 Pilates classes in this week, which was incredible. I did not do any strength training at all. But yeah, so I did that. And then I don't think I did a MELT class this week, beside like the hand and foot modules, which like, I'll take that. I'll take that. I did it every single day. Like it was good for me. So yeah. So I did a 5-mile run. I don't think that's true. I think it was longer than that. And then I did, no, I think it was a 5-mile run and it was amazing. And then I did a 9-mile run, which like also, it was fine. Like, I mean, I was counting down until like when I would be done, but what else is new when it comes to running? So yeah, hydrated a whole lot. I'm continuing to hydrate a whole lot as I say that. And I ate pretty well. My stomach has like not been bothering me. I think that it was thing of like stress and like burnout and everything. So now that like I've actually had time to relax, like when I was back in Hawaii, my gut is feeling good. Love it. So that, with that being said, now we get into today. So today was my 20-mile run. Last night I started talking to myself as all normal insane people do. And, you know, I was just like kind of like envisioning what it would be like to run today, what it'd be like to finish running today, how it would feel like not stopping and just like doing the runs without walking, and like doing like some really positive sort of self-talk, which I know sounds like super lame, but I do think that it was worth something for me. Where I was like, I can do this. Like I did 15 miles last week and it felt incredible. Like I've done hard things. This is just another hard thing that I need to do, and it's gonna be fine. So it was interesting starting that the night before, instead of like on the run being like, okay, we got this, like, you know, egging yourself on like as soon as you like get into it, but instead like starting that process like the night before and like really thinking about it. And I think that got me into like a pretty good headspace today. So this morning I woke up, I want to say like around 8:30ish. Didn't put my alarm on because I wanted like full sleep. I haven't been sleeping super well. So I got full sleep last night, and then I woke up around then, got up, had a glass of water, had like a little Morningstar sausage faux McMuffin situation, which was delicious. And then I waited for about half hour, 45 minutes. And while I did that, then like while I was waiting to like digest, that's when I did like my little melty hand fold module, and did like the full body thing, or the full treatment instead of just like a mini one. And then I went, loaded all my stuff up, took some Cliff Bars with me, like those mini Cliff Bars with me, so I could take a bite every like 5 miles or so. Had my water bottle, started it with mostly Gatorade. Got my new Lululemon Align outfit, which, let me tell you, highly recommend. They are by far my most favorite running leggings ever. And I didn't know that I was gonna have a favorite because like, I don't know, but today I just did not notice them at all. Like the first part, because I do get them like a size bigger for when I run, just because like I know that my legs are gonna expand. Like my body's just gonna naturally expand because like, I'm working it. Like it's gonna expand. Like it's gonna get hot and it's gonna be big. So cool. And I'd rather have like it be a little bit bigger than like sucking me in and I'm not able to breathe. So I got, so I wore those today. And like there was no grip at all. Like I literally did not notice these leggings, and I didn't notice that I was noticing my past leggings until I wore these, and they were amazing. You would think that they would be sponsoring me for saying this, but like clearly like they're not, and I love them. I love them. So I wore that, and I wore like a long sleeve Lulu shirt and one of their, I think it's like their Align bra. Perfect combination. Clearly gonna wear that on marathon day. So I did that, and then I went for my run. First 5 miles felt incredible. Like such a good way to start. Like I was just like going, like my hips of course were like a little sore when I started running, but like what else is new? And like they just had to kind of warm up. So I did that, and then I made like my second turn, and I went through my 10-mile run, and like that's like when things like I started kind of feeling things, like I felt like one of my arches a little bit, but like it wasn't anything big, and it remained like pretty okay throughout the whole run. And then like I did my next loop. I think I did 5 loops overall, and they just kind of got shorter every time. Like I just like kind of pulled them in a little bit so that I didn't have to run as far, so that way I would like end perfectly at the apartment at mile 20. But yeah, so like it was like pretty good. And then I got to mile 15, and like that's when it hit me, like this is the farthest I have ever run in my life. And I was like, oh shit. And I'm still going, and like I still feel fine, and it was a really incredible feeling. And then I kept going, and I was like, wow. And I was like, kind of like throughout all of this, I was like kind of imagining what it'd be like on race day with like all the people around and like, the cheers and everything. And I was like, I wonder how I'm going to be when I finish the run on the marathon day. Like not even thinking about today, like thinking marathon day, and like coming up to like the finish line and like what that's going to be like. And then of course my mind wanders and be like, how the fuck am I going to get home? Like I know I'm not going to be able to walk. So I don't know how that's going to happen. I'll keep you posted. But yeah, so I did that. And then around like mile 17 and a half, my mother-in-law called, and she just like wanted to call to check in. And I was just like running, and like I didn't know who was actually calling me. So like I picked up, and I was like, hello. And she didn't answer at first. I was like, hello. And she's just like, are you running right now? And I was just like, oh yeah, I'm at mile 17 of 20, so I might be like a little bit short of breath, or like out of breath, or like it's sounding breathy, because I wasn't out of breath, I was just like breathy. And I might not be like doing very long sentences because I'm trying to like, maintain. And she's like, oh my God, that's incredible. Like, how are you doing this right now? I was like, I really don't know. And this is when I'm probably gonna get emotional, and like even if I don't show it right now, which like I feel like I will, inside I'm sobbing, because she started talking, and she's just like, we're really proud of you, and like what you're doing right now is like such an inspiration. And like, because I started in February, like I started running period in February, and so she's just like, it's just like so amazing to see what you're doing, and like that you're doing this right now, and that like, you know, you're making this happen, you made this choice, and here you are living it and like following through on like this really hard thing. And I'm paraphrasing because like I don't fully remember everything that she said, but this is like the gist, because I was running my fucking like 17th mile, and I was exhausted. So, but then like at that point, I think that's when like this switch happened in my brain. Because up until that, I was just like, oh, like I don't know if I'm gonna be emotional. Like I am an emotional person, but I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be emotional on race day. And then that happened, and I wanted to sob. Like I was like literally holding back sobs, because that's when it hit me that like this is probably one of the hardest things that I've ever put myself through and decided to do, and like voluntarily nonetheless. So like actually being in this space and doing this run was insane to me. And so every every mile, whenever like the little lady comes on and tells me like, you reached this mile, like, or you have this many miles left to go, like ever since like, and like we hung up like really pretty close after that, so that I could keep running. But every mile after that, like anytime that she said like, oh, you have 3 miles left, or you have 2 miles left, I think it was like 2 miles left at that point, 2 miles and then 1 mile, or like it wasn't even 1 mile, it was like 0.99 miles. I just like, I wanted to sob, like really hardcore sob. Like I had to pull it back because like my eyes, like they just like started welling up, and it was like pouring. Like by the 5th mile, like by the last 5 miles I ran in the rain. And like at that point, like the rain was like coming down, and like, you know, my body, I was like really feeling my body at that point, like, you know, all my joints and all that sort of fun stuff. And I knew I couldn't stop, because like if I stopped, then I wouldn't be able to get going again, because like getting that push to like start running again is really hard for me after a certain point. I'm sure it's for everybody, but like I notice it very much so in my body, because that's what I experience. But yeah, so then like she's like, so the little lady came on and she's like, 2 miles remaining. And I was just like, holy shit, I just ran 18 fucking miles, and I like have like only 2 more to go. And 2 miles down to me is nothing. It's absolutely nothing. Like I'm just like, I have done 2 miles. I know what 2 miles feels like. It's super simple for me. Like it's not a big deal at all. And then she comes on, and I was just like, okay, only 2 more miles. Like it's nothing. I can do this. I can keep going. I don't need to walk it. Like I got this. I can do this. And I started wanting to sob again, because like I knew that was true. And then it got to like you have 0.99 miles remaining. And I was like, shit, I have less than a mile to go to make 20 fucking miles, when really, when I started in like not even January, I couldn't even run 1 mile by myself. Like I couldn't even run like 1 mile, like without stopping and without panting and without getting side pains and like getting like all these weird situations happening in my body that I was just like, no, I'm not gonna. And now here I am, like 9 months later, doing this. On my 20th mile, like I was on my 19th mile, and I was doing it, and I was fine, and I knew I was gonna make it. So then I got to mile 20, like I crossed the bridge over, and like our apartment's not very far from that. So I crossed the bridge over, and I saw that I still had like 0.4 miles left, and so I knew that I could go like up the street and then down the street, and I would make it right back to the apartment at like the perfect spot. And as it hit mile 20, Mike calls. And like she's just like, congratulations, you made it through. And I was just like, ah! It was just like this huge relief, and like this like obscure feel. Like I don't know if I've ever experienced this before. Like I don't know if I've ever experienced that emotion before, where it's like relief and pride and just like astonishment. And like, I'm not a big person who like does affirmations, right? Like I don't even know what my affirmations would be until that point, when I was just like, my affirmation when things get hard is like, I can do hard things. I just ran 20 fucking miles without stopping, except for like stoplights and water and like water refills. But other than that, like I did that. And I walked up the stairs and it was fine. And so I was just like, oh, are you done yet? And he's like, have you finished yet? And I was just like, I just finished. And he's like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah. And like, again, I was like kind of holding it back. And I was like, I have to get up the stairs right now though. Like I need to get off the phone. I need to get upstairs before I lose all of my energy and I can't walk upstairs anymore. So we hung up and I came upstairs. And as soon as I came upstairs, I was just like a mess. I was absolutely a mess. Like I released so many emotions that I didn't even know were in me for doing that. And it was just like, and it was weird because like it kind of felt sad at the same time. Like it was the same sort of sobs of like sadness, but I knew it wasn't sadness. So it was such a strange experience. But yeah, so I ran 20 miles today. Holy crap. I ran 20 fucking miles today. That is insane to me. Shit. So now I have, between now and the marathon, everything else is like a little bit easier. The mileage comes down. I have to look and see what like the longest mile run are. But Jesus, like I truly cannot believe that I ran 20 miles today. It's nuts. So if I'm feeling like this after only 20 miles where like no one else was around, what the fuck am I gonna feel like when I finish 26.2 miles and I have everyone around? I have a feeling I'm gonna collapse into a ball and sob, and I don't know how people are gonna get me home. I think I'm just gonna live in that ball for a little while. So there you have it. Big run done until the marathon. And yeah, we'll see what this week brings. It's definitely not going to be as hard, and I'm very grateful for that. I think my body and my joints need a little bit of, downtime. So there we go. I'll talk to you next week. We're on our way. We are on our way.